Welcome back. In this video, I'm going to talk through how to enter when it is a major retest. So this is something that happens far more rarely. And the vast majority of my trades are all minor trades. I would recommend that it's the same for you. They're just far simpler to trade. And you'll see through all my stat collection, the stats section, that what I've just said is true and that most of my trades are minor trades. But so that you have this tool in your arsenal if needed, we're going to run through a couple of examples of the sort of setups we'll see. So first off, we have Euro USD here from back in October last year, and we had price push down once and then break down again a second time. But on the way back up, price has formed somewhat of a double bottom on the 15-minute and broken structure to the upside when pulling back. So because of that, this means that this is now a major retest because we have formed some sort of bullish structure on the way back up to our sell point. Therefore, when we go to the 5-minute, we know that we need to see one of the 5-minute reversal patterns that we have talked about in the 5-minute reversal pattern video. So that means a double top, which is going to be your most common one, or double bottom if you're going for buyers, but right now this is a sell, of course. The fake out and retest, which is the second most common one, or the impulsive break and retest, which is the least common one. Now, on the pull back up, I know that I cannot enter on the first entry trigger. We get that there. The main thing that major retests and dealing with major retests in this way is going to do is it's going to keep you out of a lot of losses. And we'll go into that in a moment with the next example. But a lot of the time with major retests, when you get your first entry trigger, the setup would fail if you entered, which is why on major retests, we wait for a 5-minute reversal pattern. The only times we don't do that is if it is a major retest and it's a GBP pair because they tend to touch and go. That's also in the cheat sheets. But for any pair that is not GBP, then this rule applies. On the major retest, we always wait for a 5-minute reversal pattern. So as you see here, price has tapped once, it then comes back up again and forms a really nice double top entry. One top and a second top, pretty much straight after it, around the same high, slightly lower, not higher. That's the key, not higher. So perfect here. Our entry is then at the candle close. Our stop loss goes 2 to 3 pips above the entry structure. This is the entry structure because this is the high that we're selling on. So this wick is the highest point in that high, meaning it goes between 2 to 3 pips. So we're going to add our 2 on and then round it up. So 10, always a whole number, and of course a 10 pip target. That's because this is Euro USD, so this is, we add on our 2 to 3. That's the trade, and then down we go. Really nice and simple. We just waited a bit longer because it was a major pullback, meaning there was a major retest. We're now going to go through a different example of a bigger pullback, still major, but a bigger pullback on gold now, and we'll also go through a nice example of why we do not enter when we see the first trigger. Just scroll back to it. So this is the chart we would see in the morning. We've got an overall sideways market, and on our breaks, we've got one break to the downside, followed by a second consecutive break. This candle does close just lower than this wick if we were to line up and check the values. And as you can see, this was originally our level to be retested. Price broke this structure and has continued down. Now, it has gone a long way, but you'll notice that all of this, as per our rules, is one push. This is all one structural push down. There's no more breaks to the downside. This is all one push. So because of that, this is all one pullback to this setup. If price had formed this structure as it did and then broken down again, this is no longer a sell because we've got new structure here. But instead, price never broke lower again. It's just pulled back up. And as you can see, there's clearly a lot of structure on the way back up. So because of that, we need to enter this as if it is a major retest. Here is our level. our deep test zone is going to be somewhere up in these wicks at the start of the structural push. I'll apply it and check on the 5. As you can see, yeah, it sits right on those wicks. Now, you'll see straight away that on the retest, this is a gold pair. So we need to wait for our double top or fake out retest, i.e. 5-minute reversal pattern, because it's not a GBP pair, meaning that we can't enter on the first trigger when it's a major retest. So because of this, as you'll see, what I was talking about earlier, we have had one trigger straight away. And as a result, if we'd entered, because it's a major, we would have lost. Same here, there's another trigger, but there's not been a 5-minute reversal pattern yet. This is still a higher high. Again, this would have lost. And this is why we always do that. Because with our 5-minute reversal patterns, with major retests, they give us a chance to allow price to turn when it's a major retest, rather than us trying to catch a falling knife, so to speak, and keep trying to enter as price is still pushing up. The only time with major retests that we can enter on our first trigger, and all of this is in the cheat sheet, I'm just explaining the cheat sheet essentially now, is, as I said, if it's a GBP pair, or if we hit the start of the structural push for that major push down. Because when we hit the start of structural push, which we've got here in this deep test zone, and make sure it is the deep test zone of the start of structural push. Again, this is all on the cheat sheets. We are at that maximum point that price can retrace to, as per our structure theory, and still be valid for a sell. So it's fine for our first trigger entry. And we've got that engulfing here. So we would enter on the candle close. With gold and GBP, we add 3 to 4 pips to our stop loss rather than 2 to 3 for every other pair, just because they are a bit more volatile. So with here, I'm going to add 3 on and then round it up, meaning to add 3 on would be 1.528 and then round it up to 1.6. So that would make it 16 pips overall. And then our 16 pip target. And we'll just let the trade do its thing. And this one won. So we've gone through a few things there. Essentially, all I've done is explain the entry process cheat sheet anyway. It's all there nice and clear. But here is a couple of examples. Hope they've been useful. There are obviously loads more examples of trade setups in the recaps, in the video breakdowns, all sorts of stuff. So make sure you go through those. As I said at the start, major setups and major retests are by far more rare for me. I wouldn't know the percentage without adding it up on the stats right now, but 90% plus of my trades are all minor trades. They're just far, far simpler and easy to trade. Even looking at this now, we can see as price is pushing up, 1 break, 2 break, could have potentially entered here. Again, another break consecutive up, entered here. They're just smaller, simpler moves. So don't get fixated on these big major retests. But it's important to have this tool in your arsenal if you need it. So that's why we've gone through it now. But thanks for listening. I'll see you in the next videos.